Sex Talk.
Hey, I'm Jenoa, this is Mo.
And we're having
The Sex Talk!
And today we're going to talk about, we had a question.
Yes, a question from one of our watchers, listeners, readers, whatever.
I think they're watchers, listeners.
Watcher listeners, and he wanted to know, why don't women pay for sex?
And then we had a follow-up question. I don't know if it was from the same person, but they said that they brought their girlfriend
Yeah.
a full-body erotic massage, and they didn't want it.
Yeah. The
And-
girlfriend didn't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Why is that? Why wouldn't somebody want that?
it's already paid for!
That's crazy.
So, I mean, we do live in a society where men...
There's a gender imbalance.
Yes, it's
There's
okay.
a power imbalance.
It's acceptable, although maybe not okay, that men do pay for sex, so female sex workers exist. A lot of them.
Yes.
And I know there's a stigma even among men. Oh, you went to a prostitute, you know. But obviously, men do seek out sex workers,
Right.
Because it's a needed
Right.
service.
Right.
But women don't do it as much. We don't hear that much about women seeking out a male escort or a
Not
male
as
sex
much.
worker. In Nevada, there are no male sex brothels. There's supposed to be one, but I don't know if it's happening yet. But
Oh, right.
um,
What's her name was going to open one?
Heidi Fleiss.
Heidi
Yeah.
Fleiss was going to open one. I don't know if she ever
Yeah.
did. So I'm interested in what your point of view is. Like, why do you think women don't pay for sex? Because I think there is an imbalance in our society. There are generally more men are pressuring women for sex, and
And this whole concept that men want more sex, or that men need more sex, or that men can disconnect emotions from sex. I think there's this belief that women tend to be more emotional have more emotional needs than sexual needs.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that might be true to a certain extent, but you know, there are a lot of male escorts that cater to an older women
Right.
generation.
Right.
Obviously women that have a little bit of money that can afford it. I think that's another issue too, money. Women don't make as much
Inequality.
as men.
I think the older women who have this money, I think they know themselves. I think they're sexually confident. I think women, as we age, we become more sexually confident. We know our bodies better. We know what we like. We know how to make it happen. We get sex just gets better and better with women. I don't believe there is a sexual peak for women. I think that we just are on this trajectory as we age of everything getting better. Our orgasms get better. Our confidence in our bodies everything gets better sexually for women as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So you have a mature woman who knows what she wants. She's got all the stuff that dudes have. She's got confidence. She knows how to make it happen, and so she pays for it.
Yeah. And I think it's brilliant, and I would love to see more women embracing their sexuality and going out there and getting what you want. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out and pay for a prostitute. That's
Why
not
not?
legal.
No,
I'm not
that.
condoning illegal behavior by any means.
No.
But I'm
If
just
you're in Nevada,
just
though. Or
we're just posing a question. As a society, why do women not seek out sex workers to pay, you know, if men are doing it? Is it because we live in a masculine, misogynistic society?
Right. Are we as women always bombarded for offers for sex all the time anyway, that it's just like, ugh, get off me? Is that part of it?
Right.
I don't
Is it
know.
because we don't make as much money as men?
We can't afford all those male hookers that should exist. Could we afford them?
that make more money than the female sex workers because they're men.
Right.
You know, but you know, it's true. Like, if you talk to sex workers, you know that there are a lot of couples that do seek out a sex worker, you know, for maybe a threesome or, you know, experimental types of things. So, it's just something to think about. And are women the ones that are shaming? Are we the ones that are shaming men from going to see sex workers? You know,
Is it that women are more interested in intimacy, the fulfillment of intimacy, rather than the fulfillment of the sex drive? Is that part of it, do you think? I don't know.
I mean, I think that
Why don't you, as female viewers, why don't you hire sex workers? I want to hear from you.
yeah, we want to hear from you. And it's true, you know, theoretically speaking, that earlier in life, I think women tend to want more emotional connection, and you see that sort of flip-flopping with men. They tend to do that later in life. Women tend to come into their sexuality and then be more okay with just having the sort of more casual sex or sex without emotional attachments,
Right.
as opposed to men who tend to do that when they're younger a little bit. And again, I don't know if that's because of biology or if that's because of the society that we live in. It could be a little bit of both. Meaning,
having babies,
maternal instinct, wanting babies.
Yeah, we want to snuggle up with the baby, and then later we're like, no.
But I would like to see a shift. I would love to see a shift in society where women don't feel like as stigmatized to pay for pleasure, because that's really what it boils down to. Whether it's emotional pleasure, sexual pleasure, intimate pleasure, that's what men are paying for when they go to see a sex worker.
They are, and that is one of the things people don't understand, that men, when they go see sex workers, they're not just paying to get off. They're paying to get cuddled. They're paying to have someone
to feel good,
listen to them. They're paying to be held.
Yeah.
They're paying for a relationship, for intimacy, for all of those things.
Yeah.
And that's what thing that I think a lot of people don't get out of what sex work really is. It's not just two people who are mute and don't look each other in the eye and are sticking a penis in the vagina and handing money. Like, that is not it at all. It's a real exchange between two people, and it can be very sweet and intimate and boundaried, because that sweetness and that intimacy, everyone understands exactly how far it extends, which gives you a lot of freedom.
When
you
you know expectations beyond this exchange. Yeah.
So, do you think that if women understood more of that, they would be up for it more? I think so.
Or if women were given the permission, if we give ourselves permission to do that, and society says it's okay for men, so it's okay for women, would we be more likely? Would you, as a female viewer, be more likely to hire a sex worker to get your needs met? Imagine
if you're a straight woman, that there's this beautiful Italian soccer star who's a gigolo, and you know that you're in complete control, and you know for $300, that's a low price probably, that you could have an evening with this guy and do whatever you want, or not. You could go to dinner, or you could cuddle, or you could you could have him go down on you, or you could go down on him. You could take him to a sex club. You could play xylophone on his abs. You could do whatever you wanted. Would you be interested in doing that, knowing that you were in complete control? And knowing that there were no strings attached. So you wouldn't have to call him the next day. You wouldn't have to meet his mom, and vice versa. You can meet him in advance and see if you even thought he was worth spending time with. Yeah. I think this sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a neat way of getting our needs met without having all of these strings attached. And why do men have that privilege and women don't? I don't know. There was a time when I was sort of really interested in losing my virginity, and I almost called an Italian soccer star gigolo to do that. That's how she knows 300 was low. That's why I brought that up, because he was so beautiful, and I love this idea of it all being bounded. At the end of the day, I just didn't want to have sex with a man, so I didn't. Right. But if I were straight, I think it's a great idea. Everything is so boundaried, and you are in complete control because you're paying for this experience. So you could have him be as assertive or not as you want. Right. You know, you're the one. Yeah. So something to think about: why is sex work for men only, and why do women kind of shun it and look down on it? And I want to hear from you. And send us emails, write us comments. Yeah. Have you actually hired someone for sex if you're a woman? Yeah, we want to hear from you, from those women who have hired sex from someone. What was it like? And if you would or you wouldn't, tell us why. Yeah. I think email us info@thesextalkseries.com. I think that was the sex talk. Bye. The Sex Talk. The Sex Talk.